Um, Antes de mais, boa tarde. Boa tarde a quem está aqui, boa tarde a quem está online também. Nós, a Investors Portugal nasceu, na verdade, por fusão da FNABA e da APBA. A FNABA e a APBA eram as associações a representar os Business Angels em Portugal. Tanto a FNABA e a APBA juntaram-se e hoje existe a Investors Portugal, que representa não só os Business Angels, mas todos os investidores de early stage em Portugal, sejam Business Angels, sejam fundos de capital de risco e outros. E uma das coisas que a Investors Portugal faz é aquilo que nós chamamos o Investors at Work. Então, na verdade, o que fazemos é fazer uma parceria com uma das entidades em Portugal que trabalha com startups, uma incubadora ou uma aceleradora, ou um venture builder, encontramos às vezes presencialmente, outras vezes online e outras vezes híbrido, como é o caso de hoje, para partilharmos essas oportunidades com aqueles que são os associados da Investors Portugal, investidores, para eventualmente ficarem interessados e a partir desse momento, e para que fique claro para todos, a partir desse momento fica livre a conversa entre os investidores e os empreendedores e a Investors Portugal faz só a conexão e a partir daí não se envolve mais nesse processo, ok? Portanto, para este Investors at Work, nós tivemos o prazer de a Y Incubator aceitar que nós fizéssemos aqui o Investors at Work e selecionou 4 startups que eu já sei que são boas e, portanto, acho que vamos ter aqui uma grande sessão. E agradecer-vos não só pelo trabalho que para hoje, para o dia de hoje, mas agradecer-vos fundamentalmente pelo trabalho que têm feito ao longo deste tempo todo. Eu lembro-me ainda da incubadora naquilo que chamávamos os galinheiros e, portanto, era um contexto bastante diferente deste e já nessa altura se fazia muito trabalho e bom trabalho. E, portanto, exatamente, lançou-se um unicórnio. E queria dar também essa palavra em nome da Investors Portugal de agradecimento ao Incubator pelo trabalho que tem feito pelo ecossistema. Não adianta de nada se nós tivermos investidores de early stage em Portugal, se depois não houver boas startups para investir, e as incubadoras têm de facto um papel fundamental nesse processo e, portanto, obrigado particularmente ao Incubator pelo trabalho que fazem. E, portanto, sem mais delongas, porque o que interessa não é ouvirem-me falar, o que interessa é ouvirem falar as startups. O meu nome é Pedro Bandeira, eu sou vice-presidente da Investors Portugal para os Business Angels e, a partir daqui, o palco está com o Eduardo, que vai falar um pouquinho sobre a Y Incubator, para que todos saibam como é que funciona e o que é que tem feito. Porque às vezes nós fazemos muita coisa e depois não se sabe aquilo que fazemos. Então, este também é uma oportunidade para conhecermos melhor os atores do ecossistema e, portanto, espero que tenham uma ótima sessão. E, Eduardo, é contigo agora. Obrigado.
Obrigado. Aqui para a frente. O meu nome é Eduardo Costa, eu faço parte do Business Development aqui na incubadora. Basicamente, apoio as empresas que estão aqui incubadas a desenvolverem os seus negócios na área de marketing e vendas. O que é que eu vos posso dizer aqui sobre a nossa incubadora? A nossa incubadora começou a chamar a incubadora de empresas da Universidade de Aveiro. Em 2018 mudamos a nossa designação para a Universidade de Aveiro Incubator, unimos aqui para o PCI. Antes trabalhávamos essencialmente só com os nossos empreendedores da nossa comunidade da Universidade de Aveiro. Desde que viemos para o PCI, abrimos o leque para todos os empreendedores de todo o mundo que queiram vir para Portugal desenvolver os seus negócios, desde que sejam na área tenham uma forte componente tecnológica e de inovação. Prova disso, são cerca de entre 35%, acho eu, neste momento, os projetos que nós temos de empreendedores estrangeiros aqui na incubadora. Temos, à data de 31 de dezembro, tínhamos 42 projetos, se não me engano. Não fizemos, vamos acabar este trimestre para atualizar os indicadores. Portanto, onde é que a nossa incubadora se diferencia das restantes? Nós não alugamos apenas espaço, renda, nós diferenciamos por incluir os nossos serviços de incubação. Eu sinto que estou a dizer isto, para quem das nossas empresas estão aqui incubadas, elas já sabem esta história, mas para quem não sabe, permitam-me só vender um bocadinho o meu peixe. Nós fazemos aqui a nossa diferença, para além dos espaços e dos eventos que são naturais, ou pelo menos devem ser habituais com as incubadoras. Nós também temos um leque de serviços, neste momento são entre 14, se não me engano, estamos a atualizar para este ano, um leque de serviços que fazem parte do nosso plano de incubação, que vão desde o apoio operacional, por parte de um membro da equipa, que está lado a lado com os empreendedores a ajudá-los a resolver os problemas no dia a dia, vai ao apoio jurídico. Os nossos empreendedores não têm que ir procurar advogados, nós temos advogados que fazem parte do nosso plano de incubação e que eles podem recorrer a eles, contacto com investidores, tivemos até, foi há quase um ano e meio que a Core Angels estava aqui, era aqui a sede, mas depois foram para Lisboa, né? Lisboa não tem nada, coitadinhos. Sim. Mas a sede daquilo era a Core Angels, a Red Angels, aqui abaixo. Mas Lisboa não tem nada e vocês decidiram, vamos lá dar-lhes alguma coisa, porque não tem nada, coitados. Ainda está aqui?
Sim.
Ah, ok. Ah, ótimo. Pronto. Portanto, isso, apoio à internacionalização, apoio à logística intelectual, é uma data de serviços, para não vos juntar a amassar com cada um deles. Portanto, para não estar a demorar aqui muito tempo, tem um projeto na área da tecnologia, com uma forte componente de inovação, nós estamos interessados em ouvir, venham falar connosco, podem-nos procurar em www.pci.pt, o PCI é o edifício onde nós estamos, no parque, e lá depois tem lá o componente da incubadora e entre em contato connosco. Eu vou estar no chat, se alguém quiser alguma coisa, ouve-se mal, não se percebe, não se está a ver, falem comigo que eu estou a acompanhar aquilo, está bem? Pronto. Quem é que nós vamos apresentar então em primeiro lugar? Quem quer ser primeiro? É isso, Ricardo. Delegate. Está ligado isso, certo?
Suposto. Isto passa como? É assim? Ok. Já percebi, top. Inglês, não é? Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ricardo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Legit. Thank you for all of you that came here in person and also to the ones that are listening it at home. So as you can see from these slides, Legit is the luggage pickup, storage and delivery solution to solve the problem of what to do with your luggage in critical moments of your journey. What we are doing here right now we are doing is trying to make this work, but then yeah. It worked on the test. Always like that. Okay, right. So what we are doing here, we are raising a 1.7 million seed round. Of that money, we have already 70% of that committed. And what we want to do with that money is really to keep evolving the business, obviously, in 3 key markets, to keep building these amazing reviews that we have been able to achieve so far. And actually, an important thing also to mention is that without economies of scale, we have built already healthy unit economics, and the goal with this money is to double down the net profit we can get for each customer, but I will explain to you later how we want to do that. So the problem we solve, besides trying to make this work, all right, done, is what to do with the luggage before check-in or after checkout. Right, let's do like that, because I'm sure that many of you already felt this in your journeys, which is when you arrive in a city in the morning and you have your check-in at 3 p.m. or when you leave in the morning and the last day, you have meetings, you want to enjoy the last day with your family and friends. The flight is at the end of the day. So you wonder what to do with your luggage at that moment. And basically all the solutions that we found out are based in physical storage locations. So you need to find a place, go there, drop your luggage, return there at the end, pick it up and still carry it to your final destination. So it's far, far, far from the ideal experience. Another dimension of this huge problem is the huge short-term rental market that we have so far, so Airbnbs. I found out this personally because I was one of them. I was an Airbnb manager. And my guests here in Aveiro were always asking me what they could do with the luggage before check-in or after checkout. And as a worded host, as every host is, I tried to find the best solution for them, and that's why we decided to found Legit. So basically, Legit is a technological platform aiming to solve the luggage problem. It's hard to... Can you pass that, Eduardo, please? Right. So Legit is a technological solution that coexists basically in 3 core products. For the travelers, for any one of you, you can use our mobile app that is available in iOS and Android and allows you to request a driver that will collect your luggage wherever you are, store it for as long as you need, and deliver it back at the place and time you choose. So you can call it an Uber for luggage. Then for the Airbnb market, we have built a solution that actually helped us decrease by 3 times the cost for acquisition costs in 2022, which is white label landing pages for each property management. Which means that if you book an Airbnb, you can instantly book our luggage pickup and delivery service through integrations that we make with these types of companies. And then the keepers are the drivers that perform the collection and delivery of luggage. And they have also a logistical platform as a mobile app that allows them to have everything controlled and have each detail regarding each pickup or delivery. Can you pass it, Eduardo, please? Thank you. So I always say this to the team and to everyone, that we move luggage, but we deliver trust at the end of the day. So we had to find out how to make this experience safe. And by that, each bag is sealed by the keepers in the moment of collection with a unique tag that has a QR code on it. So it enables you as a traveler to have live tracking. You know with whom and where is the luggage during the time luggage has it. Besides that, every luggage has insurance, and we validate that the keepers are not individuals. So we partner with companies, and those companies need to have a structure, the legal requirements, and need to be validated with the strength and the strict training process. The market we are solving, or the market we are talking, we are the first movers in this untapped market worth 25 billion euros. And I say first movers because all the solutions right now that exist in the world are based, as I said in the beginning, in physical storage locations. So we are really the only one right now in the world that provides this kind of luggage pickup and delivery service. And the opportunity is now, after COVID, everything is rebounding. So we are really on the curve to grow. And we have been validating our price points and searching for that. And we understood that the price considers 3 variables: distance, size of the bags, and storage time. And 6 out of 10 customers in 2022 asked us for changing things. Can I add 1 luggage? Can I change the location? Can I blah, blah, blah. This represents a huge business opportunity that we are already tackling. What we found out, or actually what we did also in 2022, was to decrease, as I said in the beginning, 70% of the CAC and increase the net profit per customer in the next 18 months through the implementation of these premium add-ons and increasing the average price as well, as we are always doing. Metrics in 2022, 2021, first speaking about that, was important for us to understand how to be cost effectively, how to scale without spending so much money. We need, as a travel company, to understand how could we survive without having so much customers, as you might realize. And we took 2022 as our first full-time year working without interruptions to grow, and most importantly, to understand how we can replicate this without so much investment or costs. So this is how we do it. We scale with an optimized cost for acquisition through the integrations with B2B companies. So anyone that manage 50, 100, 500 apartments, the biggest companies in Portugal and Spain, specifically speaking about Barcelona, are already working with us, as you can see on the graph on the right. And this proves to be the real will of scaling into each new market, which is what we really want to do. The team has been built. So we have a team of 12 people that consider the 3 key areas of the business. marketing, operations, and technological. Diogo, my co-founder, has a PhD in logistics, so he takes care of everything regarding operations, finance, and Hugo also takes care of everything regarding the development of the business and the technology. We count also with great advisors as Guest Ready, for example, which is the biggest short-term rental company management in Europe. So we need the money, basically 500K, 1.2 is already with us to scale to 3 core markets, Spain, France, and Italy, and to be able to increase our products and to hire, obviously, key business developers there to replicate what we already did in Barcelona. So thank you. I took more than 5 minutes, I imagine, but sorry, this didn't help.
Questions? Yeah, questions. Okay. Online and offline.
Offline should start.
I can begin. So congratulations for the project.
Thank you.
As you know, we are considering analyzing your project. So there are chances to go next.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to know what motivates you to create a startup.
Well, before Legit, I had already starting the first startup. Adriana knew me at that moment, and also the hostel. So what drives me is to, well, try to. I don't want to be to give the same answer that probably everybody does, but I see myself as a person that likes to challenging myself in the first moment, and I worked in several companies before deciding to be an entrepreneur, and what I found out was it was not challenging me at a personal level. So I decided to jump into this industry, not because I had the idea in the first moment, but because I wanted to put myself into a place that I didn't know, because I do believe that we always grow when we don't know how to navigate things, right? And basically this journey from the moment we started Legit until now proved me that we grew a lot very fast, and we passed through a lot of things that I imagine it would not be possible if I would be doing something different than what I am doing. So I'm really passionate about this, if trying to putting myself to prove and to grow that, and obviously with that to build a team. I think it was one of the things that inspired me the most when starting, was to put people around me that believe with me and try to make that happen and grow as well.
Ricardo, please repeat the question so that the people they can.
Sure. Rui asked me what motivates me to be an entrepreneur, to start this journey. What motivated? Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, let's move to the second one, and then in the end, after all the pitches, we'll have another plenary session to clarify any doubts you still have. Thank you, Richard.
Okay.
Investors give their opinion about what should Ricardo direct, or should it be at the end, or you like investors to
In the end, in the plenary session, people can add, their thoughts, questions, and feedback.
Muito para trás, por favor. Não sei, volta para trás. Volta para trás.
Ah, okay. Boa, 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 boa. Hello, everyone. My name is Emanuel, and I am co-founder and CEO of Orti. And as you can see, we are going to talk about food. And this is not the best. Okay. And this is something that is super, super fresh. And this is literally taken from today. And it resembles the fact that right now food is not trustworthy, food is expensive, and food is at everybody's mouth, literally speaking. And the reason is because food costs have just increased dramatically in the last months. And I will just bring a very short explanation why, if I use the proper clicks. So for that, I will use the example of Maria and Pedro. So Maria is a producer, she produces tomatoes and onions, and Pedro is a consumer. And the thing is that on average, between any Maria and any Pedro, or so any producer and any consumer, there are over 2,000 kilometers of distance on average. And this brings a lot of problems to Maria, like the low profit margins, as we are today knowing on the news, and the delayed payments, sometimes up to 12 months for her to receive her payments. And for Pedro, the loss of freshness. We all know that if we buy our vegetables at the supermarket, they will not last long. That's very known. And also the non-traceable, so the lack of trust from what am I buying. And more than that, a lot of other problems arise from this very long distance supply chain. So in short, the problem is the disconnection between the supply and the demand of food. Not only that, the lack of transparency and the trust on food, as we were speaking, but also the demand not being met. We know that currently more consumers want local sustainable food that is not being met, and also the aforementioned reasons are a problem on that. And because of this disconnected supply chain, long disconnected supply chain, the information is also limited for those who create measures to manage the problems aforementioned in the first slide. And so the problem is very easy to know. The problem is data, or should I say the lack of data. And for data, there is also a very easy solution. Connect everyone, easily, everyone, one by one, into one single platform. And that's exactly what we did. We created Orti. It is the exchange platform to buy, sell, and manage fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, fresh food in general. And we created that in combination with producers, consumers, and local authorities around them, where we serve and combine all of them into one single digital platform, combine it with local pop-up markets around regions. So what we offer to the cities is that they can have a digital local food system where they increase their local competitiveness and local food circularity at everyone's reach. Not only that, but since they are administrators, they run their business on data and information, they can get all of that in our platform. On the other side, consumers inserted into the same platform, they get a new sales channel combined with the business intelligence they need to know. So what am I going to produce for next year? Who's asking there? How should I price my vegetables and fruits? And obviously an easy to use platform that on the other side for the consumer, he gets the fresh vegetables, a variety of products, a variety of producers, and an easy shopping experience, secure, safe, with all the information at hand, so the trust is not an issue. So I know what I'm buying from who I'm buying from, and where it has been grown. And more than that, our click and collect system allows for people to just get out of work, get out of classes, pick the fruits and vegetables around them, and that should just go home, not needing more transportation, more hassle on their day-to-day lives. The market we are tackling, although may seem very easy, it's a huge market. We eat 3 times a day at least. Sometimes people don't, but we eat 3 times a day, and it's a booming market growing as the human population is growing. And not only that, since we tackle small and medium farmers in Europe, we have more than 10 million of them. And since we serve cities, we also have a lot of cities to serve, namely in Western region, where it's easier for us to reach and where the food habits and eating habits are more similar to us, to ours. So how do we make money? We charge a setup and a fee and an annual subscription fee to cities and local communities, and a successful sales fee to the producers around them, making us two streams of revenue. And we got traction since our beginning last year. We started last year in 2020, or almost 1 year ago, actually. And with this big market, this almost untapped opportunity of creating digital local pop-ups, we can go up to 3.5 million in the next 5 years in a easy in an easy to expand way, since we are tapping food and everyone eats, as I've mentioned before. With a team of professionals combining technology, business, food expertise, financial expertise, and more than that, years of experience from multiple regions and multiple locations, we are on our way to basically tap this solution. And this is not an idea, as I've said. This is being currently implemented in the Oporto region, specifically in the region of Asprela, with the municipality of Oporto, a municipality that we can tap to over 200,000 citizens. And in just okay, this one, wait. And in just 2 months of digital operations, we already got more than 4 exchange points currently running, and 250 consumers who are basically ordering online their fresh vegetables and fruits and leaving classes, leaving work, picking up their fruits, knowing the farmer, meeting the farmer and knowing how to cook what they are buying, just going home without any hassle at all. We have bootstrapped and accelerated our way here. And currently we are raising, right now this month, we are raising a seed of 520K to basically reach cover the whole geography of Portugal, tap into the Spanish market, and prepare our operations to just scale faster and easier from then on. Let me just end this presentation by remembering you that we are what we eat every day, all day long, and please join us on this journey for fresher and closer food. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So questions here in the room, please.
Yeah.
You mentioned you are in the food, right?
Yeah.
But does that also include other types of wine or beverage?
Yeah.
So it's all encompassed, right?
Yes. Currently, we are just not targeting staple foods like the pasta food. Although if it's an artisan pasta, we can include it in our platform, but we are tackling all the kinds of foods and beverages, as long as they come from a local source, a more sustainable source, and that can be targeted to the consumers that we are providing, like urban consumers.
We have a question online.
Yeah, sure.
So could you please elaborate on the go-to-market strategy and cost of customer acquisition?
Yeah, for cost of customer acquisition, I unfortunately do not have a direct answer for that, since we are kind of early yet. But for the go-to-market, that's one of the reasons why we are targeting municipalities. Municipalities have municipal markets, and over there we have consumers and farmers that we will get from there. Also, we are partnering up with farming associations, so we can get more farmers on board, and also tackling municipalities as a whole, for municipality associations, and tackling also the new opportunities that come and arise from that. Yeah. Also the normal channels of online channels.
I was also wondering, how would you categorize the relationship, the farmers, like between farmers themselves who are selling on the platform, they their own prices?
Yeah, they do choose their own prices.
So are there limit market manipulation?
Yeah. For the moment, we don't. We know that happens, especially in markets, like there is the cartelization in markets. We know that happens. We tackle in a mixed, so we know that they compete, but it's also humans. We tag along and we work along with each other. From our experience, farmers also tend to buy food from other farmers. That's one thing that can happen. So there is a collaboration on them, but there is also some kind of competition. So by giving them the data they need to understand what they should produce instead of producing what everybody else is producing, we reduce the competition. That's one active measure we take. And on the other side is that we give all this information to the consumer. So although it's the same product, maybe closer, maybe likes the farmer itself, maybe buys a pack of food from that specific farmer. So the consumer decides. Although I agree with you, it's obviously at the end of the day, it's a competition. But we give the best measures for it not to happen.
All right, thank you. Then in the end, we will have more time to more questions. Thank you. Yes.
I guess so, right? Can you hear me well? Yes, I guess so. Excellent. Thank you very much. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you are, time zone wise. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am here today to speak about our health technology company, Psychomeasure. Our expertise is assessing and monitoring mental health, and our validated applications are in psychiatry and education. And why should you care about this? According to the World Health Organization, mental disorders are a growing problem around the world. We have about 23 million with schizophrenia, 60 million people living with bipolar disorder, and we have over 300 million people living with major depression. And honestly, it should not come as a surprise to you that mental disorder is a growing problem on a global scale. However, what may come as a surprise is how hard it is to reach a diagnosis of mental health. According to the Bible of diagnosis, the DSM-4, it takes between 6 months and 2 years to reach a diagnosis on psychiatric diseases. However, we made a scientific discovery years ago. We have developed an unbiased numerical assessment of an individual's mental health in order to help doctors to reach a faster and more accurate diagnosis. We developed the equivalent of an X-ray for mental health. And how does it work? We developed a computational system that captures reports of high emotional content. We transcribe them into text. We measure how connected the speech is, and we produce a report of our findings. We analyze these audio files in 3 major metrics: characterize mental organization, to measure the proportion of emotional words, and to quantify semantic coherence between consecutive sentences. This is our team, including our scientific advisors, Siddharth Ribeiro, founder of the Brain Institute, Mauro Copelli, professor of theoretical physics, Renata Moraes, professor of digital media design and technology, and myself with 20 years of experience in business consulting, plus our legal advisor, and of course, our whole development team. Our business model is very simple. It's essentially business to business, software as a service. Think of us like an hemogram, a blood sample. We capture the data, we return valuable information that can then be used by health professionals or health individuals looking for this kind of information. And these are some of our potential clients: telemedicine platforms, health individuals looking to monitor their emotional state, individuals who are seeking medical support, health professionals, psychiatrists and medical organizations who wish to augment their practice, large educational companies, and of course, companies who are concerned with the mental health of their stakeholders, such as those in the gaming industry. Now let's talk about funding. We are self-funded, we're bootstrapped, and this has allowed us to progress to our current point where our research is consolidated. We have ongoing pilots, and we are in the third version of our solution. At the moment, we're seeking to raise between 100 and 200,000 euros. Although we have achieved a lot for a self-funded startup, we're confident that we can grow a lot faster and go a lot further with the assistance of strategic investors such as yours. I leave you with the final whys for supporting our company. We have the right people, the right timing, and the optimal risk-reward ratio to make Psychomeasure a success in the health technology company. Thank you very much. Open for questions.
All right. No questions.
Pedro, I thought it was a question. No.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on your process? How do you do it?
How I do the processing, I suppose. The analysis, okay, all right. Thank you for the question. And the question is, in case people could not hear, he was asking how the magic, our secret sauce works. I will tell you how the secret sauce is no longer that secret, okay? It works in a few steps. First, we interview people. Let's suppose, for example, it can work in different scenarios, but let's suppose that I am a psychiatric doctor, or I'm a psychologist, and you are one of our patients. And let's suppose this is the first time that we're seeing each other, okay? So one of my goals is to assess your mental condition and eventually reach a diagnosis and opinion about how it's going. So I'm gonna ask you, for example, questions that contain high emotional content, such as dream reports, or eventually I may show you a figure. I'm gonna ask you to comment on this, okay? So let's suppose I ask you how was your dream last night, and you're gonna tell me. I'm gonna capture that audio file. We're gonna transcribe that into text. The input of our system is the text. And then we measure through our algorithm using a field of mathematics called graph theory, how connected is that speech, okay? And we know because of our research that this is a very strong biomarker, strongly correlated to your mental state. People who have mental disorders such as schizophrenia, they have a very disorganized speech. And people, for example, who are health adults with high education, with college degrees, they have a very organized speech. So we're measuring the disorganization of your mental state. So people who are very disorganized on that regard, for example, psychiatric patients, they would have a very high scale on our end. People who are very organized in the way, they have a very low. And this is based essentially, on what is called formal thought disorder, which is a topic of psychiatric training. So people who go to psychiatric training, they get trained on identifying this kind of aspect, which is again, the formal thought disorder. And what we have also identified is that it's not only just a continuum, and again, could be someone who needs medical attention, again, or could it be health individuals like most of us, right? Who may have, for example, situations around us that may have our mood to elevate, a lot of good news, for example, or the other way around if you receive a lot of bad news. So if either a health individual looking to monitor the emotional state or someone into the context of a medical interviewing. I hope that I completed your answer properly. Thank you. Okay. Please.
I was wondering about the data you're using to analyze a patient's emotion. So when you say transcribe, so you're analyzing the text, right?
Correct. The input to our system is text.
So that's the only data that you're analyzing, or do you have, like, for example, audio sentiment analysis, or any sort of sensor that affects your blood pressure, stuff like out of the text.
The question was like how we conduct the measure and if we use other biomarkers, if I could phrase it, such as taking, for example, blood samples, etc. The answer is not. We do not use other markers. What we have identified in our research, which again is backed by over 10 years of research and by more than 35 scientific papers, is that by understanding and capturing the data of how you communicate, this is a strong biomarker of your mental state. And we'll give you a very simple example, okay? Let's suppose, for example, that I am a teenager, I'm suffering from depression, which is again very common. You know, teenagers, adolescents are in high risk, okay? And I'm communicating myself, for example, in the context of friends, words and sentiments of, you know, melancholia, depression, sadness, etc. Okay. Furthermore, let's suppose that I'm also someone suffering some kind of psychotic disorder. I would not be able to communicate in a very clear format. So again, what we do is to understand and capturing that data and analyzing this, and this is providing valuable information for either in the case of a patient looking for health, what is the condition, what is the diagnosis, and again, will be up to a medical doctor to prescribe some treatment to that. Or in the case again of health individuals who are just looking for a way to monitor their health system. Let me give you two specific pilot case that we're doing at the moment, okay? In one of the pilot cases we're doing at the moment, we have a group of 800 teenagers, actually young adults, so people between 16 and 24 years old, okay? Mostly women, mostly living in poor neighborhoods, in, you know, not very pleasant areas in northern suburbs in Rio de Janeiro, okay? So the participants on this scenario, these are young adults. A priori, nobody is taking medication, nobody is a psychiatric patient per se, okay? However, we analyze the emotional information that is contained in the ways that they communicate with our application, which at the moment is a mobile app. And again, the mobile app is only a way of capturing the information, right? So we show a screen, we ask them to comment, we show a prompt, we show an image, we capture information, and we ask themselves at the end, how would you rate your mood today? Okay, and then we process that information in the background, okay? Just as a continuation of this same situation, the next. Let's go. We have to go, we are doing something, we are also participating in a pilot test of a clinical trial, which is investigating the treatment of addiction for tobacco and alcohol, okay? So there are a group of scientists, medical doctors who are conducting a clinical trial. They use a certain types of substance to test for addiction, and they're using our platform to assess the emotional and psychological state of the participants before, during, and after they go under this treatment, under this clinical trial situation.
Can you please, because we have a question online, answer quickly to what's your business model?
My business model is, again, software as a service. So for example, we obtain and process the data, and we sell, again, think of like an mammogram every time that we process the data. So for example, let's suppose that you, Pedro, you have a telemedicine platform. You mediate interactions between psychologists and patients, or psychiatrists and patients. And let's suppose that in your telemedicine platform, we have our API connected to that. So as the psychologist is interviewing the patient, that information is being captured. We are in the background, we are capturing and processing that information, and we're going to return to the psychologist or the psychiatrist, report about that conversation, which will assist that medical professional in their diagnosis, in their monitoring, their assessment of the medical situation of that. And every time that we do and we process one of these, we charge a fee to, let's say, your telemedicine platform.
API, and they pay per call.
Exatamente, exactly. So it is a pay per service, again, in a software as a service kind of environment, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the questions.
Isto é rodinha, não é? Vamos lá ver. Epá, esta rodinha. A rodinha não faz nada. Pois. Muito bem. Hi everyone, my name is Afonso, founder of Zoom Guide. So let me tell you why I'm speaking here today with you. Right before the pandemic kicked in, I was in Berlin, just touristing around, and I felt that the city had a very nice cultural scene, lots of touristic attractions. But for me, as a tourist, traveling on my own, I couldn't find the right information of the places to visit and how to interact with these places. So this is the background that led to Zoom Guides and what made me start researching this topic, and found out that most museums and cultural locations like museums have, the information is not easily accessible. There are solutions in the market for this. However, these solutions can cost usually on average between 50 to 100,000, which makes them unaffordable for most museums and municipalities. Furthermore, these solutions are typically isolated, and they force visitors to install mobile apps to use them, which most people don't want to due to the short duration of the experience. So Zoom Guide tackles this challenge, and we are basically like Shazam for what you see. So we are a web app that uses your phone camera to recognize anything around you and instantly give you some curated content. This content can be an audio experience, a video, or an AR experience, just by pointing your phone and getting this information. We are highly committed to improve the accessibility of touristic and cultural locations with content profiles for children and accessibility modes for blind persons, for example, where they can navigate a building by pointing their phone and understanding what's around them. Our product has two components, a web app for end users and a content development system for creators. So we don't create content. We have this system for our creators. In this case, right now, museum curators, teams from municipalities that create this content and then publish it through the app. In our business model, it's split into phases. So we started thinking that software as a service would be a perfect fit because we have companies charging municipalities and museums 50 to 100K for a solution. And we thought, okay, we can make a factory for these solutions and charge 10 times less. So everyone will join us. So we developed this. What we found out is that a lot of these locations are managed by the government. And there are long, lengthy processes and bureaucratic processes to get into these customers. So just by having a smaller cost of entry, so a licensing fee that is much more affordable for these locations is not enough. But this is how we started, and this is where we are. So we are charging licenses to these professional customers, and also generating revenue through commissions from premium experiences that they sell to their users. But on a second stage, and this is really where we want to go, we want to populate the world with digital assets. We want to onboard a community of creators, so independent creators that can help us populate cities and museums with stories, and then make these stories available to the world. So this is the second phase where we are promoting or generating most of our revenue through hyperlocal ads. So basically, you're traveling a city, you're using Zoom Guide to discover it, and as you pass by a certain business that is promoting itself in our platform, we provide you a tailored promotion to your profile to maybe go grab a lunch on that business. So in terms of competitors, we have different types of solutions. So you see here on the lower quadrants, audio guides. So this is the typical solution you see in the market. But then on this upper quadrant, you see Google Lens, which is a very similar product to ourselves. However, the quality of content you get on Google Lens, it doesn't compare to Zoom Guide. So we want to excel in usability and excel on content. And that's really how we see our differentiators to take a significant chunk of a global market we value at 19 billion euros. This is the team behind Zoom Guide. So we have competencies in the areas of product development, engineering, domain knowledge in the cultural sector, and marketing. And these are some of our customers. So they range from municipalities all all around Portugal, museums, banks. We also have independent tour operators that are now joining our platform to promote their tours. And since the beginning of the year, we have a revenue of over 50,000 euros, which is about the same revenue we did last year. So it's great to have that in one quarter. Yeah, and we have a platform available in the market ready to scale. These are some of the awards we received in areas like culture, tourism, 5G, and accessibility. And this is just part of the list. So, and why are we also here speaking with you? So to go to this second phase and to go from a SaaS business to a community of creators and selling hyperlocal ads, we need to do some changes on our product. So keep extending our technology, and most important, create this community of creators. So this community of creators is something that we never thought in the beginning. They came to us. So we had a lot of tourist guides, most of them, reaching out to us saying, I want to create content for Zoom Guides. And if possible, I would like to receive something in return. So this is how we thought that there's a need here to fulfill the world with this digital experience, and there's people who have the knowledge to create them. So the funding will be used to create this community and launching our platform in 2 European capitals, Lisbon and Paris, so that we can start shifting our business model from licenses to this network monetization. After this, then we need another round to then scale these 2 cities we expect to launch. I'm available for any questions you may have. Okay, that's all. Questions?
Is the app available, like Zoom Guide version of Avero is available already?
It is.
I was not able to find it.
It is a web app, so you access through zoomguide.app. Yeah, so initially we launched as a mobile app, but no one installed. And the reason why was that people didn't want to install an app for an experience that took like 1 or 2 hours. So we changed and then started getting some traction.
What's your main business model?
So currently it's SaaS, and it's SaaS because that's the resources we have. So with our team, we can sell licenses to our current customers. We're now in Portugal and launching in Brazil. But our ultimate goal is to create this community of creators, populating the world with digital assets, and then selling ads for local businesses. So, for example, in the last year, we did about 50,000 euros in revenue. This year, so 2 months, we are already on those 50,000 with the project we're doing with the municipality of Lisbon. Yeah, so it's looking great and growing. Yeah.
Before the presentations, let me ask you something. So to find some place to visit or to check out some places, the city or the museum need to be registered at Zoom Guide.
Yes, yes. So our app only works in places where they are engaging in a partnership with us. So for example, you go into Museum of Santa Joana here in Aveiro. First thing you see at the door is a sign 2 meters by 1 saying that Zoom Guide is available. And that's how we get people to know that the app exists. And that's also why we chose to focus really on indoor locations, because that's how we can get to users. Because reaching to people in the street is quite difficult, but reaching them in a museum or a monument, they all go through the same place. So we get to them that way, and our goal is that the experience, the product is so good that people then stay with us for the visit throughout the city, and eventually they get to know us and, well, never leave.
It's part of our plans to go outside the museum, for instance. I was in Luxembourg last week and I was in front of a statue and looking to the more about it.
Yes. So the vision is, imagine you're in a city exploring something touristic or cultural. You want to know more about the statue, you point to it and you have an experience. It can be a simple audio or it can be an engaging AR experience that one of our content creators developed.
I was wondering about the content creators and so like in the content, is the content made specifically for Zoom Guide, or is it like any creator creates article and then import that out?
So the creator is, they can. So for example, if you're a content creator and you created some article that fits the type of points of interest we have, you could upload it to Zoom Guide. We have a specific format of content you have to follow. But yeah, it's your content. So as long as you fulfill like our rules, which are very, very simple to follow, yeah, you can.
Recommends the content.
So right now we work with the entities that are like the ultimate responsibles for a specific place. So for example, a museum curator or the municipality of Aveiro. So all the content is approved by them. So we don't need a very strict review process to ensure the quality of the content. With this community of creators, part of the investment I asked on the product is specifically to develop this logic to ensure that, well, when you have a community of creators, how can you select the best content? Well, I think I have a different opinion, obviously, but if you looked at some of the people that reached out to us to contribute content, they're very, very knowledgeable on a specific topic, and they're really passionate about it. So they want to make that information available. And then there's a lot of tools based on AI, and I'm sure you're aware of that, that really allow us to convert stories told like in words to audio, video. I think in the next maybe couple of years, you can probably create an AR experience without modeling the 3D models. So we already have some of those solutions implemented. So for example, most of the museums we have in our platform, they don't record their own audio. They use our system to produce the audio experience they show to their customers. But audio is like the first step. Imagine now you can do this with AR. There is research already where you can create 3D models based on queries. So imagine a world where content creators that are really knowledgeable on a topic create an AR experience and then publish it. So that guy, I don't know his name, is looking at the statue and maybe he gets a tailored AR experience made by someone who really understands the statue.
Okay, thank you. So the four presenters, can you come to the stage, please? So this is almost over, but we just want to give the opportunity for the ones in the room and for the ones online to give any feedback for a specific startup or ask a question or raise a topic for discussion. Please do so. After that, we will go for the networking, only the people offline, sorry. But for now, you know, the stage is of the startups and you can raise your questions here also.
I can ask a question to everyone. Any alternative funding mechanisms that you are looking for? Because everybody of you is raising capital. So, like, what type of capital? Is it only going to be venture capital or crowdfunding, or what would be a leading place for you guys to get into this round of whatever you are raising?
Can you please repeat the question because you have a microphone?
So the question is, can you hear me? Okay. So the question is, if I understand correctly, what kind of instruments are you looking to, are you open to use to raise the money? So is it just venture capital or some other forms of investment? And also, what is the minimum ticket size you would consider to take, right? Want to go first?
I may start like in addition to traditional instruments like this, like pitching to investors we're sending our deck to potential investors and so on. We are also looking for two additional things. One is R&D grants. Now, a lot of the work that we do, a lot of is research based. So we're always looking for opportunities to obtain funding from government grants of various types. Portugal 2030, 2030 is just one example, and a few others in that arena. And also there is a variation of, or an application, I would say another layer that we are also considering to develop involving the metaverse and exploring situations between a therapist and a patient, right? Mediated by an avatar, for example, right? We also exploring to do that via crowdfunding platform, but that specific user case, right? Let's put it this way, right? By basically converging our know-how or technology into a kind of metaverse or augmented reality kind of environment in which, for example, someone who is looking for a good friend, let's say, to have a good, open conversation, and especially in particular, now we're looking for younger people who are very digitally, connected. They might have an interest into this kind of feature.
Well, from my point, some of the things that we are going on. So we also look for fundings and grants from the government. We have a couple of projects on that regard. Specifically speaking about the money that we are raising now that I spoke, we are considering investors such angels and VCs. Crowdfunding, I see it as a more later stage for us because we need to be spread for more countries and cities to be worth it. But for us, really the money now and the investors we are speaking with are basically because of the money and because they have something valuable also in their countries or their experiences that can also help us grow, because right now it's just for us, it's just to go faster and faster and better. I don't know, like 50, 100.
Yeah, for us, being honest, it's the first time we are raising. So I don't have the best answer for you. But from our plans and from what we are doing, actually, the perfect situation would be a convertible note raising, fundraising, and would be a mix of fundraising with the matching. For example, but there are some matches for raising in different geographies. We are targeting business venture capitalists, smaller ones, and business angels. Also, being open to accelerators, which sometimes bring a lot of value also to the table, not just the money, most of the time actually. And we have a very small percentage that we are giving to the crowdfunding, although it's in a later stage of our fundraising, mostly because of marketing reasons, and specifically for marketing reasons. So basically for PR while getting the money. So both money-wise, yeah. So that's mostly it.
So for us, national and European grants, there are several European grants in the area of culture, which we think we would be a valid candidate. And there's also a potential for research grants in the area of computer vision applied to accessibility. So for example, for visually impaired persons, that's also an area that we could explore. In terms of minimum ticket size, I'm thinking on 100K.
What are you lacking on your teams?
So I'm lacking someone to raise funding. No, that's an honest answer, really. So we don't dedicate much time to this. So that's an area that we could take some help. and also operations. So someone that someone that could open doors to some of the key customers and help us establish some processes to grow this community of creators.
Yeah. So more developers. We have a few developers. Not too much. We just need 1, 2 more. We need also to improve our marketing efforts, like full-time marketing efforts. Basically, we know that's an Achilles tendon we have to do. And while we are growing, we are feeling the need for customer success. And we are getting more, like we are dealing with farmers, and we are digitalizing a lot of things. And for that, customer success has a very important role. And so those would be the 3 biggest.
Okay, I would say 2 developers and 3 business developers to open the cities we want to go. And just one thing regarding the last question, I said 50 to 100K, but for example, a couple of weeks ago, I was contacted by a customer that used Legit in Lisbon, that is a founder of a great startup in Paris that is getting like very, very big. And she used this and she got in touch to invest basically and she has like a ticket of 10 to 20K. So I didn't say to her like, no, because at the end she can bring the kind of expertise to scale. You know what I mean? So at the end I said 50 and 100. If she wants and there is space to put 20, I would not say no. I'm thinking. I put her on a hold because she can add value to the business and she knows what is the experience of Legit, so she can be valuable in the future. But depends. In
my case, some sales commercial persons, in particular with experience in making sales in the health sector. Someone who comes, for example, from a pharmaceutical company or from a medical instruments kind of company. Medical doctors in particular, they speak a certain language and they listen to certain types of people, not to others. It's a hard to crack kind of community.
And what do you think about what you are lacking in the ecosystem?
I'm sorry, what was the question? The following of Pedro's question, yes?
Not only Pedro asked you about the team, I asked you in the local ecosystem at Aveiro, what do you think that you are lacking?
For our company in particular, more opportunities to do pilot tests. Recently, the Portuguese government launched a program called Test Beds, I think. Yes, and we'll see, right? It has been just launched, but hopefully it will provide opportunities for startups, in the Portuguese, ecosystem to test their situations. I have been in contact to basically all the hospitals in Portugal, especially private hospitals, right? But also some public hospitals, and it has been difficult to win this first, opportunity. Okay. We have achieved more results outside of the Portuguese health community than within the Portuguese health community. So again, I would say more acceptance to try, new things. Okay, so this is missing in my particular case.
Well, I will be brief. I will answer that question in Portuguese in the networking because for me it goes a bit longer. What is missing on our local ecosystem, and I think about that as Portugal. So for me, it's a lot of things are missing. But in 2 or 3 things, I think we should be more agile in the funding opportunities that are. It should be more upfront money. It should be more risk to the startups. It should be easily to have the cash flow to implement stuff. I think that would be my first thing, and then. That is a structural problem, but I would say more pre-seed money in the sense that nobody has metrics until they have metrics, and it's part of. I'm not blaming the investors on pre-seed stage because they don't have enough money to have so comfortable with that kind of risk, and that is why my question or my answer will not be so short, I think.
I may just add one thing that has been in the last few weeks in particular has been really bumping my head. It's the bureaucracy in Portugal. God's sake. So talking about ecosystem, your government officials, is there anyone listening or anyone with access to them? Please make things simpler. There's so many things that can be simpler. So for me, it's a pain in the neck. Okay.
It's interesting. It's because I have that feeling. We all have that feeling. But yesterday I was on a call with a person that has a consultancy company in Spain that do this kind of grants and research projects and so on, can help companies in Spain to do that. And he also works with companies in Portugal. And he said to me like, well, Portugal is much better than Spain. I was like, come on, you are just kidding me. And he said like plenty of times, you don't imagine how is the bureaucracy and the problems that we have in Spain compared to those that you have in Portugal. But the thing is that when we look for VC fundings or VC funds in Spain, it's a disparity. We find like 10 in Portugal and 50 or 60 in Spain. So they can help. Also, they are bigger in terms of dimension, obviously. But I think basically on that, we are bad, but just to give you something to warm your feelings.
Yes, I will echo Eduardo's and Ricardo's words and don't really add much.
Well, I gave the micro so I don't look bad. So I was about to actually speak about the Portuguese one, but I will, like Ricardo, the step, thank you. So I don't look bad on that. So we started our project here and now we are more in Oporto, right? We are actually in two different places. So I cannot answer I will not answer specifically for Aveiro. I will answer for the center northern region. And what lacks here is the PR power of Lisbon. Like Lisbon in entrepreneurial ecosystem is the reason why these guys are here are there, for example, because and they are there. It's because they have a power to PR on that, and we are lacking that, and it costs few money actually for it to just do it better here in northern part of Portugal. Portugal wise, and they gave very good answers. I would also point another thing. A matching, like we have a lot of intention on entrepreneurship in Portugal. The government set some interesting initiatives and stuff, and obviously they are slow sometimes, etc. I would say a matching banking system, like because obviously traditional finance also plays a role, especially for the VC part and for later stage companies. And probably not speaking about our case specifically, but as the professional on the area, I would say like a matching banking system, because it is super traditional still, and not only venture capital is the only capital available for startups. So PR on the north, venture matching banking system, and yeah, I would say like the bureaucracy, but I 100% agree there are worse cases, and we are getting better for specifically startups. And I mean, it's Portugal. We all know how it goes.
Just a comment that we have invested in more than startups. On the top of our startups are.
Yeah.
Just for your.
Yeah. I know. I don't mean about the investor. I mean about the whole ecosystem, the ecosystem around. The investors are doing a very great job in northern part, and we all see the data on that. And the investors, the venture capitalism over there, it's working very well. Center, north part. But I mean, it's the regionalism again. I mean, that again, we will have time to discuss on this.
Okay. The typical question in this situation: why should an investor invest on your company?
Because I will take the lead. Because you will not survive without food. Easily. Easily. I can go on, but you will not survive without food. We have what we have produced from 65 until now. We will have to almost 10 times that in the next same years. From now on, we will have an increasing population, and the soil is just decreasing the quality. So if nobody takes a chance on that, we will just not have food. We will have a lot of money, but no food. So yeah,
That's the reason.
In my case, it's very simple. It's which is really the reason why it drives me. Why wake up in the morning is like, would you like to foster the growth of something that will help people with something so important, so basic, which is your mental, emotional health? And again, not just people who need to see a doctor, but also people like you and I that, we have our bad times and good times. And I guarantee you, statistics, it's to support me, that most likely, most of us will go through some kind of, at least a depression crisis through our lifetime, probably more than one, okay? So would you like to empower yourself and people around you to have a better tackle and management of that issue? By, for example, finding a way of communicating, receiving a feedback the same way that, for example, you have Fitbits, for example, that will tell you how many steps you had today and how many calories you burned today. So if you're willing to support me and our mission on that, give me a call.
Start to compete on health and food, but very, yeah. But I will explain you. Like I went to Lyon a couple of months ago, actually in November, and I figured out like I was at 6 a.m. in the airport of Lisbon with my computer. Like, I need to say again. Okay, a couple of months ago, I traveled to Lyon with a friend, and I got myself on the computer like Pedro at 6 a.m. in the morning in the airport of Lisbon, just trying to understand where should I drop my luggage, because I would arrive at 9 a.m. and the guy of the Airbnb only allowed me to check in at 4. So I need to calculate where I would arrive, where is the airport, where is the train station, where is the apartment, where should I drop the luggage in the between, should I go there because I want to visit there the first day, but then I need to return. So it's like, I would not give the expression. We free people from this. 2 clicks, someone collects your luggage and delivers back to you whatever you want at the time you want. So we give people's time to enjoy travelers, to enjoy their trips that they put so much effort on that.
Well, you can
yeah, that's good.
So you should invest if you like the vision of just by pointing your phone at something you receive, you unlock the stories behind what you're seeing. Basically making our cities, our culture more accessible and engaging to everyone.
Okay, thank you all very much. One last question. If anybody asks Investors Portugal share your presentation, can we do it?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. So I hope you have several meetings after this with some of our members, and good luck for the fundraising, and we will see each other around. And now the people on site, we will have time to have an informal networking moment. For the ones online, thank you very much for being with us.